Hello, everybody. Welcome to Core Conversations, a series of live interviews hosted by local core members about issues that matter to young people in California today. My name is Valencia. I am a recycling crew lead at Greater Valley Conservation Corps, and I am happy to be your host for today's interview. We also want to welcome our live audience, and we would love to hear from you. Please enter your comments and questions into the chat box. And for all of our core members in the audience, we'd love for you to answer the questions too. You can type your answers right into the chat box. Please be sure to include the name of your local core. Today we will be speaking with core members from Los Angeles Conservation Corps, Greater Valley Conservation Corps, and Conservation Corps of Long Beach. Please be sure to Conservation Corps of Long Beach. I'd like to invite each of our teammates to introduce themselves, starting with Efren.
Hello, everyone. My name is Efren Mendoza. I'm a crew lead at Greater Valley Conservation Corps. I would like to introduce my colleague, Anthony.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Garcia. I'm a corps member at Northeast Conservation Corps, and I would like to pass it on to Manny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Gomez. I work at the East LA site of the Los Angeles Conservation Corps.
Thank you so much, everyone. Now I'd like to introduce our special guest, Mayor Lincoln of Stockton, Greg Good, Board President of Los Angeles Public Works, Simboya Wright from the Los Angeles Bureau of Sanitation, and Eric Lopez, Director of Public Works for the City of Long Beach. And finally, I'd like to introduce our moderator, Angela Ziesman. Angela is the Director of Story for All, a nonprofit that amplifies the voice of young people to support healing and informed policy change. Take it away, Angela.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for making the time to be here today. We have a lot to talk about in our hour here, so we're going to jump right in with some questions. Our first question is for our core members. I want to give everyone a chance to hear a little bit more about each of you amazing young people that I've had the good fortune to get to know over the last several weeks. So I'd like to invite our core members, first of us, to tell us a little bit more about the service that you offer, and also a little bit about how your time at the Corps has helped you feel more prepared for your career. Who'd like to begin?
All right. So the type of service that we do over here in Northeast LA is we do weed abatements, bogus removal, and street cleaning. And my time at the Corps, what helped me prepare for later on, if I want to continue on with this route, is that it helped me become a better leader or take initiative that, wherever situation that we're in, put it like homeless encampments. So, in Hollywood, we have an issue with homeless. So right now that it seems like the council district is trying to do more to, trying to give them housing and stuff. But sometimes we'll come across with activists and stuff. So those activists, they could be a little bit too much where they kind of will harass us, but I know what to do we know what to do when we come across them. We won't really give them a lot of information. We'll do what we need to do and, and move on for that.
Thank you, Anthony. Who would like to go next? Manny.
So two of the main services we have at our site is we give out trees to residents of the city of Los Angeles for their yards, or we plant trees in their parkway. And it's all a free service as long as you pay a bill to the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. And a way that the Corps has helped me for the future is that I've learned a lot about trees, how to take care of them, how to identify them, and working with them as I have, it's made me want to pursue a career as an arborist.
So right now I'm currently working on our City of Stockton project. We have two trucks that one of them is a litter abatement truck and the other one is graffiti. I currently run the litter abatement truck. It's where we drive around all over Stockton on the north side and the south side, part of the east and part of the west, and we pick up illegally dumped trash. So those items could be tires, mattresses, e-waste, and we also do homeless encampment cleanups. We also do small graffiti, And one thing that I can say, how it's helped me, I kind of think back starting from when the project actually started. When the project started, I was a junior lead at the time, and I was obviously a temp employee. And with us being able to open up this contract with the city of Stockton, I actually was able to get a full-time position. And that was about 5 or 6 years ago. So.
So just like Val said, we run a graffiti truck. I run it. I run it with 4 other city workers. I run a small truck. I go all around Stockton. Sometimes I team up with the city workers to get areas that they cannot get. So I'll go either by myself or I go with them. The way the courthouse helped me has been like opening up more, like doing things like this, and then seeing all the opportunities that the core and the city could give.
Thank you all so much. And as I have been hearing your stories, I just have to ask you, years ago, before you joined your core, could you see yourselves doing this work, being in these leadership positions, serving your cities? Is that kind of what you had envisioned for yourself? Val saying no.
Not at all. I mean, actually, when I graduated from BFA, I didn't know what my next step was after I graduated. I didn't know what I was going to do. And if I could remember, I believe one of the supervisors from GVCC came out and did a presentation, like telling us about the program and the different things that they do. And at that point, I kind of thought like, okay, this is my next step. And I did it and I'm still here. I love what I do. I love working with young people. I mean, I think that's one thing that I always tell everybody is I love the work that we do and, what we give back to the community. But the main thing is being able to work with young people, knowing that I was once in their position and trying to work my way up and do all the other things that I can help them with, anything that I can help them with.
Yeah, same thing for me. Like it was a no. Like right after high school, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like 18, 19 years old. I thought I would be stacking boxes for the rest of my life. So I never pictured coming to a core and going out to different places, seeing different things. And I really love working here, especially like Val said, working with the core members. I want to show them that there's a lot of opportunities out there.
My path was a little bit different from my other 2 colleagues. Mine, I kind of knew what I wanted to do after high school. I was still attending school, college, so I was trying to be a fire administration, but then I switched my major to become a radiologist, but I'm still don't know what's my path still. So when I found about the core, it kind of gave me a new perspective on what I wanted to do for my rest of my life, or if or options, if I don't want to go the school route, if I just want to work, for my rest of my life afterwards. It gave me a new perspective on like giving back to the community, like, helping my home birth that, I've been living here for 19 years, and giving help to the community that needs it the most. It gives me some sort of new purpose that, giving back to your community gives you like some, it's a very beneficial where you feel good in yourself and you helping others. So it's a win-win situation for me.
Yeah, I didn't see myself working at something like this. Before this, I was actually doing Uber Eats on a bicycle, but my friend worked at the South LA site of the LACC, and he was the one that recommended me to join.
Awesome. And you guys have all sort of touched on the fact that you're working sometimes in your own neighborhoods, right? Like, what's the impact of that you're serving your own neighborhoods, you're serving families and people that the cities that you love and grew up in? How much does that mean to you?
It means a lot going around the cities I grew up in, because a lot of people like to talk bad about Stockton, but they don't see like the beauty in it. They don't see what it will actually become. And going out there, taking away the negativity, it just feels good. Hopefully it's like it does make it a better place to live in or just come by to.
Yeah, like Efren was saying, it gives you a good feeling, especially when you're out there, like actually, in the field doing the work and, you have the community stop by and, thank you so much. It looks so great. People continue to do it, but we see you guys right behind them coming and cleaning it up. So, I mean, it feels good for me, but as well as for our crews, I love to see like how they, like how it affects them and how they're like, man, like people really acknowledge what we do out here. Yeah, because I mean, I love it.
Same here. Giving back to my community. At first, when I grew up in my community, it wasn't the best. But like once I started growing up a lot and I found out about the Corps and started working in the Corps, and now I'm serving back my community, it kind of gave me a whole new leadership where you're giving back your community, and not just that, changing the whole perspective where someone who comes into your neighborhood or who is not originally from there, gives you a new, basically new perspective. Because if like even people that I know who grew up in my neighborhood say like, our neighborhood is not good. Okay, then if it's not good, why won't we change it for ourselves? Let's make the change. So now that we're making changes in our community, it's becoming more of a nice area for people from other states or from other areas moving in. It's just thriving now. That that's a good feeling that I want to see from other neighborhoods, not just mine. So I kind of want to expand that further out.
As I mentioned earlier, we plant trees in the parkways of residents. And one of the things that I do is I alert the proper authorities of where we're going to dig so they can make sure like there's no power wires or anything, pipes. And like I input the addresses and I'm like, oh, that's like a couple blocks from my house or something. And it's like, get to see my neighborhood become more green and more beautiful.
That's amazing. I want to open up the conversation to our guests now too. I'm curious, how important is it to you when you have folks who are serving their own neighborhoods, right? Like this locality, how important is that in terms of getting the work done and really lifting up the communities that you serve?
I'll say, not all at one time, right? No, but first of all, thank you to those Corps members who shared their stories and gave that insight. Like I said before we started this, I had the opportunity to go out and participate in some of the work that our Greater Valley Corps is doing. And I was very impressed. I think it reminded me of a quote. I think it was President Roosevelt said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the impact that the Corps is making in the city of Stockton is driven primarily through that. It's just people know when these members are out there in the community cleaning up that they care, and you're literally out there and people are driving by from the community, honking their horns, saying thank you so much, sharing their stories, and it's bringing hope. It really is. I mean, it's bringing hope. And Greater Valley Corps is serving the city of Stockton with students that are from the communities, young people that are from the communities, and graffiti abatement, litter abatement. We have a Clean City initiative that we launched just the beginning of the year, where we picked up over 1,300 tons of just debris and allowing the public to come and recycle different events. And so it's just been a tremendous value that GVCC has brought to the city of Stockton, and we're thankful for it. They're a trusted partner, and it's great to have our young people just truly reflecting the community that we're called to serve, and we're thankful for that.
Thank you. It's great to hear that, Mayor Lincoln. And yeah, I would like to just start by saying thank you for this convening. It's great to hear. It really is great to hear the stories of Corps members on the ground doing this important work. I hope we get Simboya on here, who is really a model, a Corps member alum who has emerged as a genuine forceful leader in this city and is a substantial voice in the city of Los Angeles, and really I think a core member to aspire to. To your and then I want to also just thank and give a shout out to the LA Conservation Corps and our executive director Wendy Butts, who is just an incredibly valued partner. The whole team there and the Corps, we value in a deep, profound, and historic way the partnership with the LA Conservation Corps and the work that they've done. Mayor Lincoln and the members that have spoken, or the Corps members that have spoken so far, really hit on this sort of the really diverse and rich universe of work that they are doing all over the city. And I do think, Angela, that the import of having Corps members work in the communities they come from is really crucial. It is a factor that I think contributes to a sense of ownership, a sense of pride in the work that they're doing, a sense of just sort of different level of determination and resilience to get the work done well. I think that's just a natural instinct. I'll also quote a famous Democrat, Mayor Lincoln, Tip O'Neill, who said, "All politics is local," and I think that extends past what we all get to do in trying to meet constituent needs. I think that extends to that sense of ownership that a Corps member or anybody doing work on the ground really feels in doing in their neighborhoods. The one other thing I would add is, for us in LA, where we really are a city, we are a city, and contrary to popular opinion, we are a city of cohesion and of connection, but we're also a city of neighborhoods, and we're a city of communities. And so I look forward to continuing to work with the Corps to build on that sort of localized effort to where we potentially have members their work focused in the neighborhoods within the city of Los Angeles, right? As we all know, we're a mega city. And so we have, I'd like for that to really extend on the micro level to the neighborhoods and the communities that the folks are coming from and working in. So I think it's really important. And again, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And I'll jump in here too. So from my perspective, as the Director of Public Works, I oversee our public right-of-way. I oversee the development of park infrastructure, libraries, other public facilities citywide, our waterfront. So we're I see ourselves at a point where our local Long Beach Corps chapter deepening our relationship and doing more together. And the fact that a lot of the hiring is local, and that we get to work with youth that have a passion for improving their communities, improving their neighborhoods. It's one of the things I love most about the programs that are offered through the Conservation Corps. I guess I just want to say thank you to the Corps members here. Thank you for your hard work, for your effort, for your dedication. Without you, I don't think the programs would be as successful as they are. And I can talk a little bit more later about what we do here in Long Beach and how it's helping to transform communities. But I'll save that for later. I think right now the emphasis is on giving back to the communities and working to help with all the improvements that we know are needed.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I want to turn it over. If we can hear from Simboya, we'll have to check his technology for a second, guys. I want to give him a moment to speak because, like Greg mentioned before, Simboya is a Corps member alum who's continued working with the city of LA in different auspices and really has stepped into some major leadership roles. And we'd love to hear from him a little bit about his transition from being a Corps member to continuing his community service working with the government. So Simboya, let's see if we can hear from you now, if we want to unmute your mic and see if we can hear you. Okay, unfortunately, it sounds like we still have some technical difficulties. He did say in the chat box, so Simboya, he said he was at the LA Conservation Corps, and it helped assist him with helping you get skills and teamwork, hard work, and teaching him about the environment and public service. So all of that came from his time at the Corps. Obviously, it came with Simboya too, right, as the amazing human being that I'm certain that he is. But being at the Corps really kind of solidified that. And that's what I hear from the Corps members that I speak with, right? There's already a spark there in you. There's something in you, maybe you didn't know it, that wants to serve, that wants to do the hard work in your communities. And sometimes it just takes that helping hand, that support, the type of support you receive at your local Corps, who really like flicks that switch on and gives you the skills and the confidence to be able to make it happen for your city. So we'll still keep trying to hear from Simboya. In the meantime, I'll move on to the next question. And you guys kind of spoke to this already, but I want to hear from our guests again. What are the benefits of partnering with your local Corps versus partnering with another business? There's a lot of great businesses who are doing a lot of great work in your communities. So are there any benefits specifically to partnering with a local Corps? And this is something too that other municipalities may be interested in hearing from you.
I can jump in now if that's okay. So from the Long Beach perspective, the fact that you can develop relationships with local youth, and that you can help train and develop youth that can then fill in positions that the city needs to fill. So we have a history here in Long Beach of developing youth through the program, of them becoming interns, and then them becoming city employees. That's huge, right? So I think that's an area that's growing, that we're doing more of, and that's beneficial to everybody. The community, the individual Corps member, the City of Long Beach organization. There's so much need out there, and so many positions that we need help filling, that any help we can get is much appreciated. Also, the creativity that we get from our local Corps members. Dan and his team here, they're always looking out for grant opportunities, and they're always calling me or emailing me and saying, have you seen this opportunity? Will the city be interested in partnering with us? Should we go after it? And then usually the answer is yes, let's go. More resources to the city, more resources. Let's grow the programs. Let's try some creative, innovative approaches to addressing some of our issues within the city. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the team and to the effort and everything they do.
Yeah, I would. Oh, go ahead, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So I'd say I'd agree with Eric 100%. I think one of the benefits from going with the local Corps versus another business is its sustainability, its innovation from a local government standpoint. But most importantly, it's investing in workforce development while we're investing in our city at the same time. And the beautiful thing about it is it's the young people, it's the young adults that are really driving that through this partnership. And so that also leads to vision as well, because if we think about internship, we think about creating a pipeline for our young people to enter into the next workers and employees in public works and various departments throughout the city. This is a huge opportunity for them, because they get to be a part of helping to shape what the future of their city is going to look like 20 plus years from now. And I think that's just really beautiful, and that's a huge benefit of working with our local Corps versus just another business out in the community.
I think Eric and Kevin really hit it, which is that you know, I view LACC as a really a triple bottom line. There is the fundamental work that they do every day in cleaning our streets, our alleys, our our medians, planting trees, etc. There's the added benefit that so much of that work, particularly as it relates to tree planting and maintenance, addresses sustainability. And then third, and this is not an order of importance by any stretch, but this is straight up a workforce development program. This is training leadership. This is developing folks like Simboya, like Manny, who's going to be an arborist. We need arborists, who are going to be leaders in our community, and that are going to be potentially, hopefully, city employees down the road. And so we very much look at it as workforce development, and that combination is really potent in terms of its impact on neighborhoods and communities. I think the one other thing I would add is that from a practicability standpoint, LACC, and I suspect the cores up and down the state, they're in the business of figuring out solutions. When we have challenges, when we have situations that we need help with, LACC is there on the ready, and they're enthusiastic and willing partners to be as creative as possible, including in dealing with the pandemic, and being able to do the work there. So I think that they bring a panoply of benefits that single organizations, many of which are great, and we partner with lots of organizations, but just may not have the capacity or the experience in bringing to the fore.
If I can add to that, Angela, I just had a thought as Greg was speaking, and that is that it's resources too. I mean, the partnership brings a lot of, just helps us expand, enhance the resources. For example, our Conservation Corp, they're able to go after and obtain funding on their own that make a huge impact and benefit, improving, the quality of life throughout our city by improving parks. And we're able, the city of Stockton has funding that we're able to get, and we're able to partner. And so just being able to combine our resources through that strategic partnership that improves the quality of life for everybody in our city. I mean, that for me, that speaks to it alone.
Yeah, so well said. And as you all know, the state has designated $185 million to cities in California to fund youth workforce development programs like the local cores. What would you say, as leaders in cities that already have a great relationship with your local core, what might you say to leaders in other municipalities about why local cores are a natural partner for these dollars? And I'm also interested for the core members to answer this too, and thinking about the workforce development that you yourselves have received. What would you want leaders in other cities to know about why this is a good use of those dollars that have already been designated for workforce development?
I would like to add on. I think this is very important to us just because on how you said it's a stepping stone for all youth. So, like there's now job openings that need to be filled up, like city workers and stuff. So if you give those opportunities to the youth who are in allied conservation or other youth programs, that gives them the opportunity to try out something that they never had. Instead of them trying to figure out if they, like kids after high school don't know what they want to do, this will give them the opportunity for them to try out something instead of them going to school if they don't really want to put their whole effort into school, like in college and stuff. Because even though they go to school and stuff, they still don't know what they want to be, because it's not physically there for them. You get me? Because most of the stuff that they're learning is mostly from paper and stuff. So if you give them this opportunity where they're learning the material in hands, it'll give them the vision where they want to see, where they see themselves later on down the road. So I see this as an opportunity for the youth, like I said, for them to know what path they want to go with. It's just a great, it's just, I just don't want the opportunity to be wasted, if they could just take it.
Yeah, very well said, Anthony. And I would just say, to the other municipalities, listen clearly to the voice of those core members who are sharing their hearts and the impact that these partnerships, have made in the community. Listen diligently, because you don't want this opportunity to pass you by. You don't want to miss this great opportunity, to partner to change the landscape, literal landscape as well, of your communities. When I think about the city of Stockton, I think about our demographic, and I think about where the average age of Stocktonians is 39 years old, and we have over a third of our population that is younger than the age of 18. And so we owe it to our communities, we owe it to the Stocktonians to make sure that we're investing in this space as well. And we're providing not only the partnership, but the resources to our local conservation corps, because these are going to be the next city employees, right? These are going to be the next workers in the public sector. And we have an opportunity right now to really set the tone and the stage for what that can look like. And so, and also GVC, the conservation corps, they're already doing the work. They're already doing the work out there in the field. So, we hear that saying, we're better together. Well, this is one of the best opportunities, to unite, to improve and increase the type of impact that we can make. So again, like I said at the very beginning, listen diligently. Don't let this opportunity, pass you by, because it will pay huge dividends, for years to come. But most importantly, you're creating hope and opportunity for the next generation, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, Angela, I would just add and agreed. Also, thank you, Anthony, for your comments, and Mayor Lincoln. I agree that it's, simply put, it's a proven formula. To Kevin's point, listen to this. Listen to this session here. You got 3 big cities with very complex, diverse landscapes and not insignificant challenges, as well as significant opportunities. And we're singing the song, and that's because it works, and it's worked for our communities. We wouldn't be on here talking about this but for those experiences. I think the other thing I would add that I think is really interesting about the Corps is, and this is probably sort of an ancillary benefit of that record and of that history, is flexibility. I mean, the types of work that the Corps is able to do and do effectively is just really diverse. It's not just cleaning, it's not just tree planting. It is working. Certainly, the LACC has worked with us on what the city's priorities are, rather than sort of asking us to fit our circle into their square, or vice versa. And so that's also, that's reflective of partnership, that's reflective of history. And it's the kind of thing that I think the Corps is available to in relationships with almost any city.
So the only thing I would add is, if you don't have a master agreement, if you're a city or a public agency out there that you don't yet have a master agreement with your local Corps or regional Corps office, research it and get one. It's a no-brainer. The versatility and the opportunities that it opens up are just it makes no sense to not have a partnership with your Corps office and to not develop that partnership. I know there's other agencies out there that have these master's agreements, but they don't use them, or they don't use them to the extent that they can use them, and they should use them. So I would just encourage everybody, look at your local program. If you can do more, if you can grow it, you should. To the point that Greg made, it's not only clean team, it's not only maintenance. There's also real bigger benefits that your local Corps can get involved with. Major re-landscaping, demolition of facilities, major irrigation upgrades, actual park development. In Long Beach, we have the Conservation Corps that's helping us build a park, a new passive park, and adjacent to the Los Angeles River. and it's just amazing that they have that capability, and we're so grateful for that. And then we have a whole slew of sustainability initiatives, from an urban lumber program to re-landscaping drought tolerant areas. There's so much that they can do, that I would just make sure that people are taking advantage of them.
Thank you so much. I mean, there's the fire mitigation, right? The flood mitigation, the list goes on. And I wanted to highlight something too that Greg said, is that the local corps are nimble. I mean, they're constructed in such a way and they're managed in such a way that they can be there, that they understand what their community needs because they're embedded there. And they have the equipment, the training, the teams who are ready to go. I mean, we saw that so much in the pandemic, how the corps just pivoted. You know, the call came in from the governor to deploy, and the corps pivoted. They found ways to make sure that their corps members were safe, first of all, and trained, and got involved in all kinds of new things, including, you know, food distribution in their communities, which now they're continuing to do. So opening up new partnerships even still. I just want to bring it back to the corps members. You know, you're hearing these respected leaders speaking about your corps and you being such a benefit to your community. I just want to give you guys a moment to respond. How does that feel to be recognized for the great service that you guys offer every single day?
It's very humbling to know that like people in such high positions are acknowledging our work, and that they see what we do. You know, like sometimes you don't think that like people notice, right? But like people do notice.
Just like what Manny said, yeah, it feels good knowing that we are being recognized, because sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but it seems like, you know, we're out there, and it seems like we are being recognized for the work that we put in every day. And, you know.
I think back to last week, being able to work with Mayor Lincoln side by side, and it was like myself and my team, like we were kind of shocked, but just to know that, you know, we have that support from him and support from all of them, it was something different for us to actually have a mayor come out and work with us, you know, so it feels good.
Thank you so much. Anthony, did you want to add something?
Yeah, and not just that, where you guys are acknowledging us, it helps us expand, or not just, but bring also awareness that we exist, and also it brings more like hope for the youth that are in hardship, depending where they're at, no matter where they are. Some could be joining gangs as we speak now, or it could be into trouble. So if they find out about this opportunity, they'll give them hope and make smarter decisions about where they're heading in their future and stuff.
Yeah, good. Well said. I want to try and give Simboya another opportunity to jump in here. I know he has so much to contribute to this conversation. Simboya, let's just open the floor to you and see if we can get that mic to work. Okay, sounds like not just yet, but enter some more in the chat if you want to, Simboya, and we will try to represent you as well as we can. Okay, so I want to do some brainstorming. We've been talking about these great partnerships and all the wonderful things that can happen. I know some of our corps members have some ideas. Gentlemen, your cities, like so many in California, are dealing with some major challenges, right? We have ongoing drought, we have wildfires, we have homelessness, lack of affordable housing, growing wealth gap, amongst other challenges. And the local corps are helping to train and recruit, as we've talked about, sort of the next generation of community servants and leaders. We want to talk about, you know, we have a few projects going here and there, but let's think big for a second and brainstorm. How can the local corps partner with your agencies even more to implement your agendas? And I'm going to open the floor to anybody who has any ideas about that. Blue sky thinking, guys. Any ideas that you've got?
Well, I would, Angela, I would just maybe kick it off with a couple. One, I want to add one more thing to the previous conversation, which is, or the previous topic, which is, you know, what the corps means to a community. And I want to sort of flip the script a little bit and remind folks that, you know, corps members, I know at least in Los Angeles, also during the pandemic, played a crucial role, and by extension, the corps period played a really crucial role in the economic fabric of the city. Forgive me, I can't remember the numbers, but a significant number of our corps members who continued to work safely, consistent with county and state guidelines, or under county and state health and safety guidelines, but essentially became the chief breadwinners in their homes. And so on top of the incredible work that they were doing, and that was reflective and responsive to whatever the needs were, they were also playing a really crucial role in their community from an economic standpoint. And that is something that can't be underestimated. I think, you know, moving forward on, you know, one of the things I've thought a lot about is, you know, we all know we as a state and as a nation, as a globe, we face several existential crises that just continue to pop up, it feels. One of them is obviously climate, and one of them, and with climate, we know that the likelihood certainly of emergencies and the need for fast emergency responsiveness is going to be vital and inevitable. And so I certainly am thinking more and more about how to, you know, how the role of the corps in that for the long term. And so that's something that we've certainly been thinking about.
Thank you for that, Greg. Yeah, just to get back to your previous point, we did a whole corps conversation live stream about serving your communities during the pandemic. So that is available on the Calc YouTube channel. And that's something that several of our corps members brought up, the fact that they were employed. Not only were they able to serve their communities, they were able in many cases to support their families because they were still receiving a paycheck. And the local corps made sure that their corps members and their corps members' families received whatever kind of assistance they needed in terms of paying rent, utilities, providing diapers and food for the corps members' families. So that's a really important point. And in terms of offering emergency services, I know Val has some ideas about that too. So I wanted to give her a chance to talk about a little bit of one of her ideas about how, you know, GBCC could possibly partner more with City of Stockton.
So already doing the work that we do on the City of Stockton project, but one of the other things that came across was a few weeks ago, we had a really big windstorm and all kinds of trees got knocked down. And I was talking to one of my colleagues at the City of Stockton, and, you know, she was talking about like, man, you know, there's all these trees that are down, and I know the tree crews, they're working hard to get it all cleaned up as fast as they can. And it made me think about like how, you know, we have all the equipment, we have the manpower to go out and, you know, help and, you know, pick up, you know, like get it away faster. And I don't know, I just thought that would be a good idea to just throw it out there, something more that we could give back and help the city.
Thank you, Val. I wanted to also welcome Tito. Tito is a corps member from Conservation Corps of Long Beach. Tito, we know that you had a family situation that you needed to take care of, and I hope everyone's okay. And we're so glad that you're able to be with us now. If you want to just introduce yourself, and then we can resume the conversation. We're brainstorming. But first of all, Tito, please say hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tito Lebuso. I'm a supervisor at the Conservation Corps of the Long Beach.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I would just say thank you, Val, for sharing that. The City of Stockton sees our Conservation Corps as really a big picture, an extension of the city as well, right? I think it's important, you know, to understand that, and we really value the work that you're all doing. And you know, when we think about the things that we're we're dealing with throughout our communities, whether it's the housing crisis or it's climate or it's food insecurities. We can also look at improving health outcomes as well, and what role does the Conservation Corps play in that space, and whether it's from resource education to help improve those health outcomes, to bridge the gap where those disparities are taking place throughout our city. But also big picture too is, I think we have to understand as local governments, at least here in Stockton, I think this is a trend not only in California but throughout the nation, and that is, from the public sector, we do have an aging workforce as well, where we're probably looking at, there's individuals, majority that are 3 to 5, maybe 7 years out from retirement. So we also have to bridge that gap from a workforce development standpoint, so that we can ensure that we bring the necessary innovation and technology and strengthen those relationships with the Corps, so that we can fill those gaps, right? And we can make sure that our local governments are continuing not only to operate, but to really thrive in the 21st century. And so I think big picture wise, those are just a few things that I wanted to share.
And then also what we also talked about when we were brainstorming is another way the Corps could help is maybe helping out the community centers, because as I was growing up, you could go to community center and hang out, play. But as I got older, you started seeing them close down. You seen some parks being forgotten, not being taken care of. So you start seeing less and less places where you could actually be at and hang out. So maybe that's somewhere maybe the Corps could help out in any way.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Efren. And we have a comment here from Simboya. He's still with us, even though we can't hear him. Simboya says, the kind of career pathways local corps can do are like the City of LA Target Local Hire Program. There's a letter of agreement between the city and the union to hire you from the LA Conservation Corps. Greg, can you speak a little bit about that partnership? And I'm not sure, gentlemen, Eric and Mayor Lincoln, if a similar type of agreement exists in your cities, but please tell us if they do.
Well, we launched several years ago a targeted local hire program to help facilitate clear pathways for folks from disadvantaged communities and disadvantaged or vulnerable frontline backgrounds to access city employment. And targeted local hire is that path. We work very closely. The city works, and our personnel department works very closely with the public, with our unions, and our unions really have a real appreciation of the Conservation Corps as a logical source. It doesn't guarantee a job, because that process is still, it's still a process, just like with everybody. But we facilitate that and recruit and really work to make that pathway as evident and smooth as possible for Corps members to apply to be a part of the targeted local hire program.
Thank you for that. I'm not sure, Mayor or Eric Lopez, if you have something to add.
Sure. I would just say City of Stockton also has a community workforce trade agreement that's in place with our unions, so specifically for local hire, which creates, a lot of opportunity. And that just reminded me of, the career technical education and the trades, GV, the Conservation Corps, there's not only opportunities for young adults to go into public service, working for the cities, but also to get connected, start a great career, with our local trade unions as well. And so I think, sky's the limit. And I think, as local leaders and elected officials, we have a responsibility from a workforce development standpoint as well to help connect those dots and get those opportunities, in front of our young people as well.
Yeah. And the only thing I would add is just, we can always do a better job in terms of creating more pathways to permanent positions, even within our city organization as a whole. we have a lot of entry-level positions that there's always vacancies in. And it's not just maintenance assistants or refuse operators or inspectors. There's a lot. Some of them do require specific experience and certifications, but we can help with that. And I know the conservation corps are all about developing our corps members and helping them be able to obtain some of these more permanent positions. So, I think that's an area where we can and will be focusing more energies on as in the future. But I also wanted to add, one of my wish lists, one of my hopes, one of my dreams is that as we do develop more and more conservation corps members, and they have these awesome jobs, either as an arborist, as a landscaper, as a painter, as a whatever it is that you end up finding your passion in and going through, I'm hoping that we can continue to stay connected with them so they can not only give back to their local corps chapter, but also to their neighborhood, to their cities. I still attend council meetings where I look into the public and I only see 3 people there. We need more people to be engaged civically. We need our youth to help each other to understand the complexities of local government and the importance of being engaged and being present and sharing your voice. And it could be, from something simple like a new park that's being developed or redeveloped, a library renovation, a community center expansion, building a new swimming pool in a part of the city that hasn't historically had one. There's so many opportunities where people can get involved and engaged, and that will make a difference. And I think, our corps members, with this experience and with their desire to giving back to the community, I think there's an opportunity there to continue to develop and evolve, which will help us all.
So well said, and so much passion in how you all are speaking about this. It's really heartening. And corps members, I hope you guys are taking all this in, right? It's you're wanted, you're needed, your voices, your opinions, your skills. And Simboya has added here, if government agencies have agreements like you gentlemen have been speaking about, there will be success. You have well-trained corps members, and the government agencies continue to get skilled workers. Everybody wins. So we're getting close to the end of our live stream here, and this is a big topic I'm about to broach, but I wanted to just bring it up. It's something that our corps members have really been thinking about, and it's about the fact that they want so much to be able to continue to work in the cities that they love and grew up in and afford to live there. And for many of our corps members, and not just corps members, many of our residents, that's becoming harder and harder as we see not just housing prices, but gas prices, everything's on the rise, but particularly with housing. So on behalf of Val and the rest of the team, I just wanted to ask you gentlemen, is there, how are we thinking about not just jobs of the future, but jobs that will allow our young people to live in the communities in which they work? What are your thoughts on this?
I'll step in. I just, that's a really big part of it, right? Living expenses and, making ends meet as you're trying to do the good work that you do. I think as a state, we have been moving more toward a living wage. I know in Long Beach we have project labor agreements now across all of our different trades that's helping to expand and create opportunities, but also pay more for the work that you're doing. So I see us continuing to not only develop our future workforces and helping our youth enter into high-paying jobs, but then continuing that development. You can be an inspector first, then you can become a principal inspector, then you become a construction manager, then you could become there's this growth that's natural that you should always continue to plan for. And as you grow professionally, your salary will increase. You'll go from $10 to $15 to $30 to $40. And then if you become a director of a big department, you might make the big bucks. But just there's that side of the equation, but then there's also the housing side. It's just so much harder to control the economics on the housing side, because it becomes an issue of supply, of demand, an issue of construction cost and materials cost, and it just that's a little more complex. So I tend to focus on the development of our team members and providing continued opportunities for them to develop and get into higher and higher paying jobs, so that they can keep up with the ridiculously high cost of living.
I would say, in addition to what Eric just shared, I think all of our communities are on the precipice of change. And I know here in Stockton, especially as we're trying to navigate and get on this other side of this pandemic and look at the future of our cities and economic growth, and we're looking at a very strategic actionable economic development plan that we're in the middle of developing right now. But to the point is, when it comes to growth and livable wage and things like that, really the decisions that we make, I believe, in our local municipalities over the next 12 to 24 months are really going to, again, determine what our cities look like 20 plus years from now. And so we have to get it right now. We have to leverage the strengths of our community and the opportunities that we have to provide, the best future for our community and for our young adults. In Stockton, one of the things that we talk about all the time is how do we stop, the brain drain, or whether somebody, young person goes off to college or they get certified in a particular trade, creating those opportunities where they can stay right here in Stockton and not take those resources somewhere else and really reinvest into the future of their city. And so we have to be very just intentional about every step of the way, every part of that process, to make sure we create, those opportunities that generate the outcomes that we all so desperately desire and know that we're more than capable of achieving.
Thank you so much. And we have just another minute or two, but I just wanted to give everyone a moment for another quick little soundbite. Each of us, we have a vision for what we want the state of California to be, for what we want our cities to be. And I'd love to hear just a few words from anyone who wants to share about what is your vision and how can these amazing young people in the local course support it.
Well, I'll just say Stockton, the vision of our city is we'll be a city where people can live, work, and grow a business. And what we do recognize is that we have this great opportunity because our young people are some of the most engaged, some of the most innovative, some of the most influential, members of the public. And to, I believe it was Eric's point earlier, is we want your voice to be heard loud and clear. And so we are committed to a partnership, continue the partnership with our Conservation Corps, the additional funding that we have coming through the workforce development funds. We're going to be partnering with our local Conservation Corps because they're proven. And so let's just build, and let's build together here in Stockton.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Any other last words?
I would just add that, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, I'm good. Go.
Just, echoing what the mayor said. I mean, look, we have incredible historic challenges on so many levels in terms of income equality, in terms of affordability in this state. And that's true for all of our cities. It's true for the nation. But we're all working relentlessly to address and assuage those gaps. And fundamental to helping us get there is going to be the heart and the minds and the muscles of young folks who are committed to being a part of solutions in their neighborhoods and in their communities and in their cities, and who will also benefit in the long term on the macro level from those efforts. And so on a practical level, yeah, we're very proud of the fact that our mayor helped push through, along with our city council, a $15 minimum wage several years ago. We're as challenging as as big as our challenges are around the unsheltered. We're also building as fast as is humanly possible and at record levels. And with all of that, it will be partnership and collaboration with the Corps and the young folks here that is going to help us get there.
Thank you, Greg. And Eric, any last words from you?
No, just thanks for having us here. Thanks for engaging with us. We love to participate in these types of discussions. So thank you all. This has been a great conversation.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us. And now I'm going to hand it over to our host for the closing, Manny. Take it away.
Thank you, Angela. I'd like to thank you all for being here and talking with us. And I'd like to thank all our viewers who are watching live and to everyone who will watch later on YouTube. The next Core Conversation series will be coming soon. Stay tuned for more details by following @LocalCore on Twitter. You can also view and share the recording of this live stream and all previous Core Conversation live streams on the Calc website and YouTube channel at mylocalcore.org. And if you like what you heard today and want to get involved, California's local cores are hiring. Check out mylocalcore.org to find your local core and contact us. Thank you so much for the team here today, to my fellow core members and staff who support us. Thank you so much to your guests and for all you do to support California and our local cores. We also want to thank the California Association of Local Conservation Corps and Story for All for making these videos possible. And thank you, Cal Humanities, for the generous funding, support of Core Conversations and Youth Voices. Stay safe and see you at the next Core Conversation.